Music.
I forgot the music. Oh my gosh.
The
How do we
morning the
even know what
music
to do?
died.
Yes. Here we go. It's just not the same without the music.
No. Hey, good morning, everybody, or good evening, or good afternoon, or whenever you're watching this. So I'm Marilyn Bradford with the Irreverent Therapists, and I'm joined by Pam Houghteling.
Hello.
Yay! And today's topic is, do you have a holiday hangover? Too much food, wine, family, good times, or bad times? Did you have to spend more money than you planned on? Or were your attempts to keep Uncle Jed not very successful? Keep him away from you? We're supposed to be very happy during the holidays, yet they are one of the most stressful times of the year. Join us for a holiday detox.
A much needed holiday detox.
When I think of this, mostly what I think of is family, because there's so few really happy, healthy families out there. And even if yours is pretty good, everybody's coming with a lot of expectations and projections and rejections and separations and how's it going to be this year? And I don't want to tell mom this or whatever it is. So I mean, people think about eating and drinking too much, and that's probably true too. And how much of that has to do with family, and how much of that has to do with family traditions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be very challenging to be someone who's changing a lot and choosing different in your life. And then you go to some family gathering, like, the holidays, and it's like you're squished back into this little container. That's how, people who've known you since you were a little baby think of you.
Right.
And, what if that is something that not only you can outcreate and not be the effect of, but just acknowledging it, I find super helpful.
Pam, I don't think many people really get what outcreate means. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. Yeah. So that comes from an Access Consciousness class that happened many, many years ago called The 10 Keys to Total Freedom. And it's now a book as well. So you can get that book and read it. But it has to do with, 10 ways in which we limit ourselves and can also tools to use to undo that. Right. So one of the 10 keys is no competition. Mm-hmm. And I know for me, when I first became an Access facilitator, I was like, okay, no competition. So I was the first facilitator in my state. When there started being other facilitators, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to compete. I'm going to, they were able to teach a basic class. I was able to teach more advanced classes, or like, I'll just do the advanced classes and they can do the basic classes. And I basically completely slowed down and destroyed my business because I wasn't creating. I was waiting for them to create their businesses, and then I would do these advanced classes. So that 10 Keys to Total Freedom telecall was diving into each of these 10 things real deeply. And the one for competition, they started talking about outcreating. So what I did was like the flip side of competition. If you imagine it as a coin, one side is, I'm going to try to get all the people, and people should come to my class, not your class. The flip side of that is I'm going to not compete,
right?
Which is, it's kind of the same energy. It's just different aspects of the same energy. Outcreate is something that isn't buying into either of those. It's saying, okay, you create what you're going to create. I'm going to create what I'm going to create. And I can outcreate myself. I can outcreate you. But that isn't competition, because ideally, like, say Marilyn's outcreating me and I'm outcreating her, we're leapfrogging. Right. It's like, oh, look, I created this. And then she can be like, oh, cool. Let me outcreate that. And we're both creating more and more, but with no competition and no having to limit someone else for you to have more.
Well, the competition, the whole idea of that is based on that there's a limited amount.
Yeah.
When you're out creating, you're not against the other person. You're acknowledging there's plenty for both of us or all of us. Let's just keep going.
Let's keep going and see how much greater we can both be.
Yeah.
And so when I say out create, the family stuff, it's like, when you're being you and you go to your family of origin or whoever you're going to have the holidays with, it's easy to feel boxed back in to who you used to be. So you don't have to fight that. You don't have to resist that. You don't have to wish they'd be different. And if they'd finally see you for you, you can just say, I'm going to be me. I'm going to enjoy myself. And I don't even have to, I don't have to give any credence to this vision of me that they have.
Yes.
And that would be, to me, out creating my family's point of view about who I am and how I'm showing up.
And there are a couple of things that I want to talk about. Another one of the keys is no form, no structure, no significance. And that's a big one in the holidays because people are going to make things very significant. What if you didn't? What if
We've always done it this way? We have to do it this way.
Well, and your uncle so-and-so isn't coming because of his fight with Sally 8 years ago. And you need to forgive your brother for abusing you because it's family and
all those things.
Like, what if you didn't?
Yeah.
Yeah. What if you could just go, okay, well, that's their point of view. I don't have to have their point of view. I don't have to be in their universe. And that's one phrase or one question I often give people at the holidays. If you're feeling like this, just go, my universe, their universe.
Yes.
Because you operate in different universes. There is nobody in the world who operates in the same universe as you do. When you can really get that and understand, oh, that's Margot's universe. In her universe, she has to be the center of attention or blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Or that's Dad's universe. In his universe, he has to be the man. He can't show any feelings. So, I'm generalizing. But once you begin to realize that everybody's got their own universe and become aware of it, it makes life so much easier.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and in terms of that significance and stuff, so, my kid's dad died years ago. My dad died recently. And, right around Christmas, we were kind of having this conversation of, because sadness was coming up, right? And it was like, oh, we don't want to ruin Christmas. And I was like, no, just being you, being present with whatever is what is what's available. But that whole, I don't want to ruin Christmas for everybody else, that would be that form, structure, significance.
Yes.
There's something specific this holiday needs to be. I need to fit myself into it. I need to kind of push aside anything that's going on that doesn't match the merriness and the happy, scenario that everyone's
the myth of Christmas.
The myth of Christmas. Exactly. And so when we all acknowledge we don't have to do that. We can just be, and we let the people we were going to hang out with know, hey, we're having some sad moments. And they're like, cool. And, and we were able to be and not try to fit into that form and structure.
Yeah. Nobody can be them in form and structure.
Yeah.
Even though you will probably have been or were asked to do that. Yeah. So if you can just kind of detox from the idea, detox from any judgments you have of yourself for your behavior during the holidays, or I didn't do this right, or I didn't please mom, or I didn't blah, blah, blah. What if you were just like, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have to judge me. And that's a huge thing in terms of detox, because a lot of times what we're detoxing from is our judgments of ourselves and those judgments that others have projected onto us that we've taken as real and true.
Let's see. Let's make a list. What things might we have judged ourselves for on the holidays? You put some of them in there. There's ate too much, drank too much, spent too much money.
Didn't give the right present.
Yep. Didn't get enough presents, didn't spend enough on the presents.
Couldn't keep my cool.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
miserable the whole time when I should have been happy.
Yeah.
Um,
So, and I mean, you might have your own unique version of
Yes.
judging yourself through the holidays.
Absolutely.
So whatever those judgments are, what if you're not wrong?
Yes.
What if whatever you choose is just what you chose in the moment and you see what it creates, and then you can choose again? So, this time, if you ate way more, Christmas Day than felt comfortable for your body, what if you just say, hey, body, I get it. I ate quite a bit. Next year, let's find a way for me to remember and pay more attention to you as I'm eating.
Yes.
And, see if I can change it and do something different.
Well, and that whole thing of next year, I mean, that's look forward, not past.
Yeah.
That makes life so much easier. And one of the things that I also work with clients on is before the holidays, prepare yourself. One thing, practice expanding out, because we tend to contract when there's stress, and that makes us more of a target and makes it harder to process anything. So if you can remember that your body's in your being is not in your body. And I know this can be a little weird for some people, but if you can expand out, 100,000 miles in every direction, that helps a lot. Yeah. But also know what to expect. Don't go, okay, don't go in blindly. Okay, probably mom's going to do this. Now, how do I want to deal with that? And you don't have to solidify it, but what's going to be kind to me? Maybe it's staying in a hotel and not at your family's place, no matter what they say. Mm-hmm. Learn to lie efficiently. I'm sorry. I haven't been feeling too well. I think I better stay at a hotel.
I'm having allergies. I'm gonna stay
whatever it is. Take care of yourself. Don't spend more than 3 days. I used to do that when I'd go see my mother, and about the third day, everything would turn bad. And I remember, Gary and Dana going, guests and fish, 3 days only. So,
yeah. Well, and there's also, we've been talking about like the actual family or holiday celebration. There's also, if you're alone, right? Yes. Some people prefer to be alone on a holiday like Christmas or New Year's. Mm-hmm. And then they're judging themselves for not wanting to be with people, or for not fitting into the scenario of Merry Christmas and you're all getting together. So what if no matter what it is, you don't go into judgment? And you already mentioned it, Marilyn, but I'll bring it up again. The tool, interesting point of view.
Yes.
Interesting point of view. I have this judgment of me that that I should be socializing today instead of being on my own. Yes. Interesting point of view that I'm whatever it is that you're judging yourself for. It's just an interesting point of view that you're having about yourself. And that tool is one you can use to unwind that judgment. Yes. So that you're just spaced with what is.
Yeah. This Christmas Eve, I live on a road that gets shut off and it's a gallery area and restaurants, and they do this big thing Christmas Eve of they put up all the farolitos, all the Illuminati, and they have bonfires and people sing carols and blah, blah, blah.
Very festive if you're in the mood.
Very festive. And I'm like, not working for me. Yeah. I'm going to read my book and have a light dinner. And that's what I did. Yeah. And I've been using the tools enough that I was really happy. Yeah. Went to bed early.
Yeah.
Had a good night's sleep. I didn't have the need to go join the revelers. It was not like I was going to miss out. And that whole fear of missing out thing is insane. Because if you have you can have as much happy, joy, whatever you desire right where you are.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, and we haven't talked about this yet, but we're filming this in between Christmas and New Year's. So we have New Year's coming, which is another holiday, and one where a lot of people look back at the year and judge themselves for what they didn't create. I didn't lose the weight. I didn't, get my cholesterol down. I didn't reconcile with blah, 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 like whatever it is. And make the New Year's resolutions. This year, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start exercising on January 1st, or, I'm finally gonna, whatever it is. And again, those are all expectations. And they're making things significant and judging yourself for what you have or haven't chosen yet.
Yeah. And what if you could ask a question instead of this year, I'm going to, what would it take for me to be kinder to me and my body this year?
Yeah. Yeah.
That kind of thing. And what would it take for me to create in a way that tomorrow I'm really happy with what I created today?
Yeah.
And if I don't, what if I don't judge myself?
Yeah. And what would it take to find some things that work for my body, or some things that contribute to my life and bring me joy?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Because then there's nothing concrete that you're saying, I'm going to do this by here.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you say that, then you have to judge yourself constantly for, have you gotten there yet or not?
Mm-hmm.
Or judge yourself for not getting there. Whereas if you're looking at the energy and the kind of feel that you'd like your life to have, I'd like to be kinder to me.
Yes.
I'd like to add more things that are joyful.
Yes.
There's nothing to judge in that. You just start going out exploring and living and see what you find.
Right. And also recognize that everything is malleable and circumstances change. I was at a charity auction with a friend for an animal shelter. This was I'm not sure, early fall, maybe. And in the end, they said, does anybody else have any pledges? And I raised my hand. They said, how much? And I said, $500. And when we'd come into the venue, they said, oh, we have your credit cards. So, don't worry about it. Well, they didn't actually have my credit card, so it never got charged. So at one point, I think in October, I sent them, they have donation. I sent them $250. And then I thought, am I going to send the other 250? Maybe. I did make a commitment, and generally I like to keep my commitments, but I didn't put any pressure on myself. It was like, let me keep asking questions. Should I give the 250 to a different animal shelter? Should I give more? Should I give less? What's going to create greater here? That's a really great question. And when I woke up this morning, there was a last minute, end of the year. If you donate before the end of the year, we have people who will match your donations. So I did the other 250 this morning, but it was really light. It hadn't been that light before.
Well, and that created them getting 750 instead of 500.
Right. So anyway,
yeah.
It was really fun.
Cool. So we've covered a lot today on the types of things that might make you feel a bit hungover after the holidays, and hopefully some tools to help you actually find ease and space.
Yes.
Even if it wasn't this year, next year, or even, the next time anything comes up, because all these tools we're talking about apply to any time, any situation, not just the holidays.
Good point, Pam. On that note, happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody. Let me cue the music. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.